Okay.
Well, this may sound ridiculous in a way. A number of years ago, I had a vision, and I was in hell. And there's big stone block, stones there like that, and up between them, the fire was coming. Up like that, people were wailing and screeching and hollering and everything like that. And down the kind of a walkway between these big stones and everything, were about several people. And this one that was leading she had a big, long, crooked cane. In fact, it stood up even with her hat, which was a black hat, like a witch's hat. And she had this long cane. She'd go along, she'd hit these bodies that were laying there, these people. And she'd hit this one and say something, and I could see her hitting this one. I could hear her say something. But when she got to me, she hit me and said, and what she said, oh no, not until 88. Well, I got the impression then that I was going to live no longer than 1988. And a few times I've told this story, but it sounds so ridiculous. But in 1988, all the children after midnight called and said, Dad, is that you? They thought it was 88. Now, this is what I'm thinking. It didn't happen in 88. I'm thinking she meant when I was 88 years of age. And that would be 1999. And that's going to be the year that I died. It'll be 1999. But I'll be 88.
I've got 4 more years to get back down here.
Well, there's a lot of people counting. No, I really believe that. I really believe it. That vision.
I think lots of times we're.
Huh?
I think lots of times we're forewarned of things and don't stop to realize what it is, or push it off, you know.
Well, you all just remembered, and I'm on tape, and we'll see.
Oh, now you want to make it to see the turn of the century, don't you?
But, oh, it'd be nice. I was done, I'm feeling bad here. Oh, I fell up there at their yard, and I fell, and it was dark and everything, and I remember saying, Lord, I can't die. I'm not due to die until but it kind of knocked me out, you know. I fell pretty hard. I fell against some rocks and everything. And, I remember saying that. But I think it'll happen.
Well, we'll cut this short in a minute, but I wanted to find out about Minnesota. When did you start going up to Minnesota every summer?
Our first trip up there in 1950. We didn't go back anymore until 1960, and we've been going every year since 60. But the first year, his relatives operated a motel. And we stayed at that motel. in 1950. And as time goes on, well, anywhere, improvements and this and that, where there's a lot of buildings and swimming pools and recreational parks and everything. When we were there in 1950, Dad and I went down over and was digging fishing worms where the swimming pool is now. That was 1950, and we went back in 60. And I bought that place at Deer Yard in 62, I think.
I've heard about all the modern conveniences that Becky has put in for you, or had you put in, or something.
Well, she's a little more modern than I am, more a little conservative, but we get together and play a few things. But the pride and joy up there was that we had solar for energy.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that time, we had no gas, no electric, no telephone, no nothing. Even water. But, since that was put in 2 years, no, it's going on the second year now. Be the second year in the summer. So it furnishes everything for us. See, I was named, going back to Dad and railroading, I think he went there in 1902 and he retired in 1959. Now that's 57 years service. And no one thought about ever retiring. You call it, some of those old timers, hey Sam, when you're going to retire? That was almost like fighting words. They didn't think about retirement. And you didn't get very much for retirement. I think Dad only got less than $200. About right? He stayed up to your house there. I think he got...
I think so. I'm trying to remember.
Well,
Well, for back then, though, that was a lot for retirement. I mean, that was more, he was making more in retirement than Dan was making for a month to live on.
Mm-hmm. That was good retirement.
well, yeah, you compare it with time and everything. So, really, in those days too, railroading days in the teens and 20s, like that, there was more of a feeling between an employer and employer, or this and that, and just a lot of times those officials from the president on down would ride the trains and get acquainted with the employees. So Dad liked this person, and he was the president of the C&O Railroad then. And he had a boy that his name was Paul, and who later become the president. So Dad, they say that, or Dad named me after little Paul Stevens was his name. He was president of the railroad. So Dad was a lot of times, I mean, he was an active person. Have you ever seen these people that you work right alongside of, and here you are sweating, getting all wet with sweat and dirty and this and that, And a fellow working right alongside her, doing the same kind of work, just cooled a cucumber and cleaned a pen.
Yeah, I was
Well,
sort of
that's-
like Les tonight.
That's about it. Well, that's where my father was. And
I
there
wasn't the clean one.
But there were just a lot of times that he was mistook for an official of the.
Well, he was very dignified. He had a dignified aura about him. He was a handsome man.
Yeah, he was.
So are you sorry that you didn't go more into politics?
No, I like politics, but well, I'll just tell you truth about it. I'm too independent to be a good politician. I was allowed to tell you to go to hell and get out of the house. One fellow sat right there where Kim sitting in 1952 or 3, and he come to the house here up in Chesapeake and wanted me to help him out or go and defend him before the welfare people, because they wouldn't let his boy, keep a new car that he bought. And I looked out that we were talking. He told me what they were doing. I said, well, what's the matter with that? I said, you're all on welfare and everything. Well, he said if he wants to buy a new car, no one should keep him from doing it. And he needs a car to go to work in. I said, well, he can get a used one. At that time, I believe I had a old Pontiac or something. I said, well, that car out there takes care of me. Well, we got arguing and it got worse. I said, no, I'm not going to do anything like that. That is wrong. That's not right. And don't depend on me to do anything. He said, well, I'll tell you one thing. If you don't do it, we'll beat you at the next election. Well, that's all right. You may not. But they did. I got beat that time. But I'm just giving you an example. I was just too darn independent. I wasn't like Oakley Collins. I wasn't like Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
Lie like a dog, and then keep on preaching the things that wasn't true until they were satisfied. Finally, they got you to believe that it was true, like 2 and 3 is 4.
Yeah, it's a dirty business, isn't it?
But I'll tell you one thing. I don't have a thing on my conscience. I tell those lobbyists up there to back off or something, and that was it. When I made up my mind to which way I was going to vote, all hell or high water, never changed it. In fact, I got a derby. I'll tell you this little story. I had a derby here somewhere, and I got that derby over a bet. I wasn't in it, didn't know a thing about it. But these 2 lobbyists were saying, anyway, talking about a bill that had come up in the legislature, and I said, well, and had my name come up. And he said, well, he's not for your bill. And no, fellow said, no, but I'll have him heating out my hand before this is over. He said, what did he tell you? He stays against the bill. He said, well, he's not going to change his mind. Well, they got into this discussion with the two lobbyists, and they made a bet that they would, and they bet a hat. And I didn't change my mind. The other lobbyist had to pay off, and this lobbyist come to me and he said, used to be a store up there in Columbus named Walker's, right down on Broad and High, next to the Daisler. And they sold Hart Scheffner and Mark's clothes, you know. He said, Paul, let's go down here at Walker's. I want to look around a little bit. And I said, well, I don't want to go to Walker's. I can't afford that place. I said, come on, I want you to go with me. And I didn't know. I was innocent as a newborn babe on the thing, but we went into Walker's and he said, you see those hats up there you like? I said, oh, I've always wanted a derby. He said, well, go and pick one out. I began to get a little leery out of that, and I said, what for? He said, well, I'm going to buy it for you. I said, oh, no. I'm not going to be under your thumb at all. Now, so he told me this story that I told you first, that he won this bet. And that's the way it happened.
And you've still got the hat somewhere.
Hat.
We've lost it.
Oh, you've lost it.
We've lost it.
Yeah, we lost. No, I think I lent to someone, they never returned.
I think that was what it was.
Yeah, lent to
Well, if you could go back and change anything, is there anything you'd change in your life?
Everybody
Oh,
would
Pete's sake,
change,
yeah, you
Teresa.
change a lot of things.
I think everybody would change. Really.
Anything you haven't done that you'd like to do? That you've always wanted to do?
No, I can't say that. I like railroading. I think a railroad job is one, if you have to work for a living, you'll never be a railroad job. I like it. Maybe it's different, well, I know different from when I was working. But even then, I like railroading. And we've had a good life. Well, 60 years with one woman, you know, you had a good life. Or 60 years with one man.
Yes.
And still be sane.
But,
Yeah.
no,
What you need, Mom?
oh, wait till
What you need?
I need to get up and move.
Grab my walker.
If it's
No, we'll
important.
just need to get up.
Hang on,
There's
it's-
my walker right there. You can have. Where is yours? You got so many walkers around here.
Can I help?
Linda's coming in tomorrow with,
What time will she be here?
I don't know. She said if it were foggy, she wouldn't start. And I said, well, I wouldn't want you to be on that river road if it's foggy. Although I think she'll cross over and come up, you know, the new highway, 10 probably. So she said, if it's foggy, she wouldn't get here till about 11. But if it's a nice, clear morning, she gets up early anyhow. She'd be here about 9, and then she was going to call you. Isn't that the way it was arranged?
Mm-hmm. Said she would come down for lunch if she could.
We'd all go to lunch.
I'll go to
right?
lunch. Mm-hmm.
And you all, she asked me where, and I said, well, I wouldn't know. It'd be up to you to pick it out. I don't know. I've got different ideas about lunch.
I know nothing about Ironton. Maybe Les can
they got a
suggest a
new
place.
restaurant downtown.
There where Allen's Jewelry is?
Yeah.
Was? Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Wednesday
They,
morning from the prayer breakfast.
We go there for breakfast. You may know the fellows running it, Ernie Cook's boy.
Henry? No, what's the younger one?
Which restaurants are you talking about?
It's a new one, Mom.
It's a new
It's a
one
new
where
one there,
Allen's
where,
Jewelry Store used to be on 3rd
Where
and Park.
Allen's
It's a
used
restaurant.
to be.
On 3rd and Park.
where Allen's were.
Country Home it's called or something.
Yeah, I saw
And,
it.
Ernie
I saw
Cook's
it the other day.
boy is running it. Was his name Ernie too? He told me it, or was it Kenneth? He told me his name.
Wasn't Ernie.
I don't know. I don't know the Cook boys.
I went to school with a cook, but I can't remember his first name right at the moment.
I don't know. I'll tell all of you, I'm very sorry I don't have any lunch to serve. I haven't
Oh.
baked for, I'm gonna try this week maybe to bake. I haven't been able to walk.
Eating is not anything we need to do right now.
It is.
We
well,
have eaten
I'm
and eaten and
embarrassed a little
eaten.
bit, and I'm being
Oh,
truthful.
no.
I'm very embarrassed.
No, I didn't come here to get eaten.
I know, but I should have
to eat
something.
to get
I
eaten
can't bake.
either.
Oh, she had a lot?
I never saw so much food in my life.
Oh, really? You've had, all
Right,
right. I feel
yeah,
better,
yeah,
but I
we-
am embarrassed to have you here in the living room, and I don't
You've been a perfect
But, you know,
hostess.
baking's getting so hard for me because it's the walking back and not the baking. That's nothing.
The mess
But
that
you
you
know,
have to go through to get there.
To get, you know, to get everything together and to get
Uh-huh.
I can't walk out in that kitchen anymore. I think I'll go out and make a batch of cookies and then I don't do it.
I was going to ask you, do you remember the first time you had indoor plumbing in a house?
I think we've always had it.
You've always had it. How about you, Uncle Paul?
Yes, they've always had indoor plumbing. You want me to
Right,
tell you a
and
story
there's
very quickly?
Uh-huh.
I like this story.
Oh,
There was this young couple who worked and saved all of their money so they could build a house. They finally got enough money to start building, and she was very particular with the architect and with the builder. They watched every detail of it, and it was a beautiful house. She was supervising it, and until they got to the bathroom, and they asked her, and she said, "I want early American bathroom." And the man waited around for a while and said, "How far from the back door do you want it?"
That's just about it. Just about it.
Well, you remember the first time you had phones or electricity, or have you always had that?
Always had that. Always had that. Uh-huh. I remember, I don't know when we got our first washing machines. Do you remember that, August? You know, the one I had was Grandma Seipel's. She gave me hers and got a new one. And you had to carry the water, you know, and put it in. Then you had to carry it when you tried to empty it. And then I finally got a Maytag. But I didn't have a dryer for years. A dryer was a luxury.
You
In my,
didn't
my-
have a dryer.
I didn't
I
have
can
a
remember the
dryer.
first time Mom got a dryer. I was in high school. I think we
Well, I
lived over
didn't
there
have a
on
dryer for a
4th
long
Street,
time.
I
hung
think.
things out.
I kind of enjoyed hanging clothes out on the line.
That woman that works for me now, she just loves to hang out. And if the day is nice, she won't go into the dryer. She goes right out the back door on nice days. But they do smell better.
Oh, they
I
do.
think I
always
like them.
soft and nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I like
I don't know
hanging
when we
out.
got our dryers, but I know I didn't get one right away like some women did.
Oh, I was.
They were expensive, and that was a luxury. I hung out a lot of clothes at my time.
Don't remember when I got my first.
I do. You were in high school, or I was in high school. I'm sorry. I was in high school. Probably was in the late 50s. I remember I had to help doing laundry.
Oh, I think you would be tired. This been got a lot of coffee.
Well,
You remember? Did you have a car when you were first married?
Oh,
And-
no. No, we never had a
Oh,
we didn't either.
we went to, we drove to Charleston, West Virginia. And Dad had that old Buick, you know. We went up there and one of those little pins come out on the gear shift. And the pin cost 15 cents, and they charged $2.50 to put it in. And I think I had small change left after I paid that bill. Well, we had been to Bailey's first. We went to Bailey's, that restaurant up there.
In
That was the
Huntington.
thing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, that was one of Grandma's favorite places to eat.
Well, I
Mhm.
think
Bailey's.
that's
Oh, yeah,
everybody.
Chimney corner. She liked the chimney
She
corner.
liked the chimney corner.
I
Uh,
like Bailey's. I always
My
thought
kitchen's
the
very
food was
clean.
so good.
they're not going to worry about it in the least.
They are.
So don't you?
Mhm.
No, they won't. Don't you worry.
Well, the woman's coming in the morning. Every time when she's coming, I don't work too hard the night before, do you know?
Well, you shouldn't.
I don't have a home, Eunice.
Oh, Mom.
Oh, yes, you do. You have.
You got a nice home.
Well, with you,
Mm-hmm.
but all of my things are, the kids have taken it all
Yeah, your
and
things are
disposed of
gone.
it.
I said
don't
my
have-
kitchen wouldn't be very clean because my cleaning woman's coming in the morning.
You're a dog. I used to have a beagle baby, yeah. She
Oh,
was a red
that's
dog.
Rake
I
out
thought
there.
I heard Rick
Oh,
barking out
he's
there.
out there talking to us.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, Rake tries so hard to talk.
Uh-huh.
Tries awfully hard to talk.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I
went
have
down to
A woman in the
Bartown,
morning.
and we had to leave her out in the county, you know. And she come home and well, how did you like it out there?
She tried to tell him how
She tried her best to tell. And I say, well, you like it here better? And she's flying around again. She knew I was talking to her.
She tries to
I
talk.
really believe that.
Sure.
Yeah, they know what you
Yeah.
say too.
I think
Yes,
they
they
do.
know. They have a vocabulary of a
understand.
certain
What you
size,
say.
That's
I
right.
think.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Dan says the cat has about drove him crazy since I left him
Oh,
down here.
really?
Yeah, our cat really got attached to Mother because she sits with an electric blanket on her. And
Aw.
it's always warm. And our cat has latched to her lap.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. They learn quick.
Uh-huh.
I need
She needs her
over
water.
here a
Hang
minute.
on,
I think I can walk with this one. I don't
Where's
know
that
yet.
you know.
sign?
I could never.
This,
What? Where? Well, it's not there.
this is where Becky, Linda, Bill, and Gretchen was all raised.
Okay.
Come on, keep moving. Somebody find the keys. You'll get the car.
1010 South 4th Street, Ironton, Ohio.
That was a long time, wasn't it? It's been there